Good Sunday morning, YouTube. How you guys doing today? So I want to speak to you guys a little bit about something that I have been hearing for a couple of days now in a couple of these chats, talking about an article that was posted on a mainstream media source, and they were talking about the Black Manosphere and the toxicity of the Black Manosphere, and they are labeling the Black Manosphere a hate group. And I say it's about time. Okay. Good morning, Short and Sassy. Good morning, Jackie of all trades. Yes, I am glad that a lot of people, other than our small sector of quote unquote Black YouTube, um, I'm glad that a lot more people are starting to realize the very derogatory, venomous, good morning, brand, vitriolic things that come out of the mouths of most of the Black Manosphere, Negro Manosphere, SYSBM, BGS, Ilmore, Jason Black, the Black Authority. All of these men, for the most part, have for years spoken derogatorily about Black women, and I say it's about time that somebody do something about it. Hey, Pandy's Hair and Candy and more, how you doing? Good morning. And I am glad that they're speaking out about it because it has become overboard. And my fear for a long time has been that the rhetoric, the very derogatory or verbally abusive rhetoric that these Black men are spewing against Black women, offline, it could become an issue offline. And we have even seen cases of what I believe a lot of younger men doing very, abusive things to more Black women. Okay, because all across Black YouTube, you hear Black men and they're very vitriolic, very misogynistic, very derogatory, patriarchal. They feel they have some sense of ownership over Black women. They say that they are speaking out about our what they call Black female effery. And I just want to know, they talk about hair weave and body parts and all of this. All of this is very derogatory. It is very abusive. It is verbally abusive, and it always makes me. And I have even gone on to panels and gone back and forth with these men, trying to, speak up for women, because you have a lot of women that visit some of these, he-man woman hater chats, and they don't, they pretty much get torn apart verbally. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that, and I am glad that people are speaking out about this, because it should be labeled a hate group. It should be labeled hate speech, because that is what they're doing. And like I was saying earlier, some of this, in my opinion, has started to spill offline, because that we know that a lot of younger people, a lot of millennials, especially a lot of insecure, maybe millennial males, you know, they have a lot of, latent and always simmering under the surface, a lot of hate for Black women. And most of the time, when you get young women having this type of hate, especially Black men, I'm sorry, having this type of hate towards Black women, it's simply because they, are non-select Black men. They are not the popular guys, and they may be in college now, and may have been nerds in school. They weren't selected. They weren't the popular guys, and because they wanted the same girl that the popular guy was able to get, they now feel like they have a place online amongst other Black men to spew the venom. And it's very unfortunate because some of these things can be taken offline. Because we know that in particular, young people, millennials are very, they get a lot of their social cues now from social media. So when you're coming online and you're saying things that our women should be hurt, our women need to pay, and the black woman is this derogatory and the black woman is that derogatory. What they're doing, especially if you have some mentally ill issues, what that is doing, I'm sorry, is fueling your fire, fueling your hate. Good morning, March baby. Good morning, the unfiltered Muffy. And I am glad that people are beginning to speak up about this, because verbal abuse, and guys, please hit the like button if you don't mind. Verbal abuse is no line, no, nothing to play with. Do you see what I'm saying? And you're fueling the fire, and then you're giving them, pretty much giving them the high five, um the permission to go offline and abuse women. I did a video the other day about teen domestic violence, and they're calling it, what they call it, dating abuse or something like that. And there are so many millions of cases of, young women and girls being, having domestic violence committed, upon them. And some of them, like Adrena Gunn, she ended up dead via domestic violence. And these are young people, college age people. And so I'm saying, what is fueling this hate? Because for so many young men to come online and spew such venom, to feel comfortable in these spaces, spewing all that type of venom, who's putting a battery in their bag? Let me tell you who's putting the battery in their bag. The people that are putting the battery in their back are these older black men that are pretty much domestic violence perpetrators. Okay, you have had people. Now, I remember when I first came online. Let me give you an example. There's this man that they say started the hate train towards black women. His name was Sergeant Really Pete, right? They say he started the gender war. Okay, uh, he continuously spoke derogatorily about black women. Then, up under Sergeant Really Pleak came Tommy Sotomayor. He continues to this day to profit off of speaking derogatorily, about black women. He's absolutely anti-black woman. He's even spoken very derogatorily about his own black mother. He's exploited his children, um, a whole lot of other stuff. I'm sorry, whole lot of stuff in the way of black women. So they are fueling this fire. Now you have stuff like Obsidian, Mumia Obsidian, the Obsidian Media Network. I've made videos about him and his anti-black woman rhetoric. He feels like black women should be owned. Like slaves were owned during antebellum slavery. He said, he doesn't necessarily think that you should be treated equally in a relationship. That is patriarchal. That is uplifting slavery. And they even say things like, "Oh, black women didn't mind being slaves because they were sleeping with the master." So you're saying that black women in slavery, our ancestors, our female ancestors that bred you, were comfortable doing slavery because they were being raped and mutilated by massa. But we enjoyed it. Do you see it? Do you see how all that rhetoric is detrimental? We enjoy being slaves. So you're really like giving you're really high fiving or co-signing slavery, especially the slavery of black women, because for whatever reason, and that is also that you hear a lot of that slavery talk. Black women weren't enslaved the way that black men were enslaved. You have this guy named, what is his name, BJS Ilmore, that keeps continually for years talked about daughters of the slave trade or something like that, saying that black women, weren't enslaved the same way that black men were enslaved. And that is actually, that is a source of trauma that has been passed down from generation to generation when it comes to black men. See, that is the one thing that has always fueled black female hatred coming from black men. They think that black women sometimes, in some way, had it easier than they did during slavery. Okay, so they feel that we were forcibly raped, because we were forcibly raped, and had babies by massa, that we were somehow treated better than them. Now, I don't know what kind of flawed logic or how that whole thing got skewed, and but see, they never, so, and then women, but women never say the same thing about, buck breaking, because we know that during slavery, black men were also raped and mutilated, but they never bring that up, but they say the black woman had an easier time during slavery. Not even, giving credit for our female ancestors that bartered their bodies in order for black men, for the black men to be safe or saved, not to be whipped to death, or lynched or burned at the stake. Not even giving credit to black women for that. But we had a good time during slavery. We enjoyed being raped and mutilated. So that is what simmers all of this, anti-black woman hate stemming from black men, in my opinion. And you got a lot of black men, saying things like, well, we hate our black women because we had to pay child support. Well, it takes two to make a baby, and nobody, no court system should have to force you to take care of your child. You should be willing to take care of your responsibility. Anyway, what does it say about you when a court has to make you take care of something that you helped make? Something that is 50% of you, but that also, you can contribute some of that to slavery also. A lot of the dysfunctions that we have, that we're living through and dealing with in our community right now, is because of slavery. Okay, we know that men and women during slavery were used as breeders. So all the black slave had to do was impregnate the black female slave, and his children were sold off, because they were owned by the master, and he had no financial responsibility towards that child at all. So that's carried over into the days times. But instead of them trying to, fix that mentality, reprogram themselves, they want to blame it on the black woman. You see how that works? So all the ill, I have heard men say that the black community was destroyed by the black woman, but then they'll turn around and say black women won't let me lead in the black community. So either we destroyed it because you refuse to lead, or you want to pass it off on us, make it our fault because you refuse to lead. But then you turn around and say that you are the head. You think you have some ownership over black women. That is what allows you to come in these spaces and speak out this patriarchal, dysfunction. You have taken on the Anglos dysfunction, and that's called patriarchy. You think you have some ownership over black women. You, even if you uplift Anglo women, you put them on a pedestal. You advocate for interracial relationships. You fall over yourself about breaking your neck to lay between the thighs of an Anglo woman. But when a black woman decides to divest from your black butt and go lay between the thighs of an Anglo man, oh my God, she's the worst thing that ever walked the planet. Do you see the double standard that I'm laying out here? So you can't have it both ways. But because they feel like they have some kind of silent ownership over the black woman, this is what they do. And really, the only thing that you're doing is feeding the anti black male, the toxic masculinity that you have been called. You're feeding that rhetoric. You're uplifting and making right that rhetoric. You're proving the point when they say that black men suffer from toxic masculinity. You're proving that point, but you don't realize that. But it's the black woman's fault that you have been called toxically masculine. It's your fault. Hey, Kiki, the Unbreakable Spade. I ain't heard from you in a long time, girl. How you doing? Hey, Unfiltered Muffy. Hey, Slim Duncan. Hey, everybody. See that you working, you really hustling backwards. That's what you're doing. So now we've gotten to the point that the people have started to speak out about your toxic masculinity, your anti-black woman rhetoric. They have started to stand up and take notice of all these he-man black woman haters. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's not. It's not your fault. It's our fault, right? Okay. You have people like Snoop Dogg, for instance. He's a black celebrity. We know that he went in on Gayle King and Oprah. That could be be called toxic masculinity, toxic black male masculinity. Okay, and that is not these two articles that they're talking about now. This is not even the first time that black men have been called out on their toxic black masculinity or their anti-black woman rhetoric, like the Black Manosphere or the Negro Manosphere or SYSBM or BGSM or Obsidian Mumia Ali in particular. Okay? All of these old men feeding this all this anti-black woman rhetoric because it's profitable. Okay? And then people want to somehow set O'Shea Duke Jackson to the side and say, well, O'Shea Duke Jackson doesn't involve himself in this toxic masculinity, in this anti black woman rhetoric. That is a lie. He does the same thing, he profits from it. He will invite you on his Rumble. A woman on his Rumble, knowing full well that they are going to rip her, attempt to rip her from limb to limb because it's profitable. Okay? Yes, I am talking about the article that's written by Ern Fountain. Yes, I am. He is very, very hateful. As and they have, started they lambasting and bash black women for profit. Okay? And like I said, um, uh you had people way back. This thing has been going, for years, way back to the Sergeant Really Pete's and the Tommy Sotomayor's, and now you have young, black millennials carrying the torch, doing the same thing, speaking derogatorily about black women. The founder of the Me Too movement, Tarana Burke, talking about O'Shea. Him and a lot of men, she got engaged here recently. And when she got engaged, they found that very entertaining. They don't feel that she should have no man. They can't understand because she's so, in their opinion, ugly and non-select. They can't believe that a black man would ask for her hand in marriage. Why? She's a black woman. But because she's the founder of the Me Too movement, and she doesn't co-sign all this he-man woman hater or this domestic violence or this toxic patriarchy. She doesn't co-sign that. She actually wants to speak out against it. Well, she's public enemy number one. you know And even if you have a man on here trying to speak up for black women, they will come for that black man as all that black man at all. But like I said, not knowing the whole time, I keep straying off. What I'm trying to say is you are feeding this black male a propaganda machine against you because we know that black male masculinity has long since been attacked. Okay? When you uplift something like interracial marriage, for instance, do you realize that the white man has always thought that you want to rape and ravage his white woman? So when you get on here and you put these Anglos on a pedestal, these Anglo women on a pedestal, and you divest and bash black women, you're doing nothing but uplifting that sentimentality. Like I said, you hustling backwards. You give fuel to this propagandized machine that is set out to destroy the black male image. You're doing it all by yourself. It is your fault. And like I said, this is not the first time. A couple of years ago, before Ernst Fountain, there was an article a couple of years ago, and the title of that article, and I put that article on my page, the title of that article was "Heterosexual Black Men Are Now the White People of the Black Community." Do you know why I said that? Because black men have such a low they put place such a low value on black women in their own community. You're so abusive. Many of them are so abusive, towards the own women instead of uplifting these women, and putting them on the pedestal like every other race of man does. You leave us unprotected. You speak derogatorily about us. You promote violence against the own women in your community. That is why you are now called the white people in the black community, heterosexual black men. And it's not just heterosexual black men that participate in this verbal abuse online towards black women. It's also gay and transgendered males as well. They do it too. You've got a man in the black manosphere. His name is Hey Baba Rashad. How you doing? Peace and blessings. You have a gay black man by the name of Kevin Samuels, and he's not the only one. But they uplift him. He speaks derogatorily about black women, and he's a gay black man. I guess you would, because you want them black men to come to you. Okay? You have several gay black men that I have identified, and I won't say nothing about because that's what they get. They co-sign these gay black men in their male spaces, and they're supposed to. Now let them tell it they don't like homosexuals in these spaces, but there are a couple of them in the spaces co-signing what you're saying, and they checking you out. They're not even worried about us. They're speaking derogatorily about black women, hoping to turn your mind and want to be with them. You know, but because you're so on this anti-black woman hate train, because you say you hate black women so much for whatever reason, you're even co-signing them. I think it's fascinating, you know. And so it's just, I'm glad that they're being called out. I hope they continue to be called out because this stuff can be taken offline. There was a man, I don't know if he's still online or not. His name was Hardcore Tito. He was a convicted rapist. He also used to get online and make video after video of bashing black women. The hate coming from Hardcore Tito was palpable. You have another man online, another black man online, making videos about black women. His name is, what is his name? He's a pimp. He calls himself a pimp. He's a self-proclaimed pimp. He's actually went to jail for pimping out black women. Sinful the P or something like that, I think his name is. He frequents these spaces. Okay. And that's right, Kiki, child predators. You have men saying that black women hit the wall when they're 25 years of age. So if we're hitting the wall when we're 25 years of age, is that because you promote older men, going out and seeking younger women to be involved with? You seek out young women because some young women are naive and they can be easily manipulated. You're preying on young women. That is disgusting. And shame on you. But these are the things that they promote. I've heard conversations where they don't see anything wrong with older men sleeping with teenagers even. All of that is toxic. I'm glad it's being called out. So they're promoting this stuff. I remember a couple of years ago, this guy, I can't think of his name. He was online, saying that black women can be married as early as 12 years old. And some black women were speaking out against the rhetoric that he was spewing because, honey, that is child molestation. That is pedophilia. But he was advocating for that. We've heard all kinds of these. See, the problem with black men and black YouTube in general is that we feel that some of us feel that we're in a bubble, and whatever we say and do in these, predominantly black spaces, they will go unnoticed because it is just us talking to us, not having enough sense enough to know that everybody is watching. Okay. Good morning, Chazé. Good morning, Jim Queen. Everybody is watching to the point to where you are now being called out. Now, see, it is not all black men that are, toxic in these spaces. But because there are so many more toxic black men spewing this anti-black woman rhetoric, they are being overshadowed and they are being labeled, with the same toxic labeled, hate speech or hate groups. And they are not even a part of the anti-black woman rhetoric. But it is the few. It is the few. The many, or should I say, it is the few that are being overshadowed by the many. Okay? Because you have a few black men in these spaces that don't deal with that type of anti-black woman rhetoric. And who are you to think you can check a woman anyway? Why would you even want to check somebody about her hair weave? I have never in my life seen so many men worried about what women do. It's like you whole crybabies. They make it comfortable to men for men to comfort men. Oh, we just want to come online and speak about all the L's that we have to take when it comes to black women. Oh, we're not being treated fairly. But doing that you have now been labeled a hate group, Black Manosphere. All right. And everybody that falls under it. And you got these old men like BGS Ilmore. Well, I'm a black pillar. He thinks that women should have declined welfare and let their babies starve in order so that black men would be, not being charged child support or something. You should have turned down money to feed your kids from the government and just let them starve as opposed to, dealing with child support or welfare or something like that. He would rather have your children starve so that they would come after the black man for child support because of welfare or something. Not knowing the whole time that it would not have been needed if you would only take care of your responsibility. You like to make the babies, but you don't want to take care of the babies. That is why the man is on you about child support. That is why most of these women have to deal with something like welfare or food stamps, even if they're working to take care of their kids, simply because you won't do your part. But that is our fault. We're the ones making you not do your part. Okay. Hey, DHD says they are a hate group. Yes, they did earn that label, and they are a hate group. I absolutely agree with you, Deej. Uh huh. Jim Queen says everything you are saying is so true. They don't realize how this bashing looks. They don't even realize how it looks on them. You're absolutely right, Jim Queen. They don't realize that they're feeding when you have these movies. I was going to do this video about, I think I'm still going to do it, about how black men in particular were depicted, in the early movie days, like in the black and white movie days and stuff. Good morning, Deej. You have the saying that they were the stepping fetchets and they were the movie. What is that movie? It's been hailed as one of the greatest movies ever. It is about the Klan. I can't think of it right now, but in that movie, black men they thought that all black men, these savage, newly freed slaves, they just want to ravish our white women. They want to rape and kill our white women. Do you see what I'm saying? I can't. Birth of a Nation. That's the name of the movie. The Birth of a Nation. Thank you, Jim Queen. But see, then fast forward to 2020, and you're advocating for black men to divest from black women and uplift, and you do uplift these Anglo women. You falling over your own feet to get to these Anglo women. So you're uplifting that rhetoric. You're making it true when these Anglo men think that you want to ravage their Anglo women. You're uplifting that anti propaganda. You're uplifting it. You're giving credence to that. And you don't even realize you're doing it. That is the reason why I said you're hustling black backwards. And all of this hate speech, they say black women are hypergamous. You know, so it's wrong for black women to the gold digger thing. They look down on black women that are gold diggers, and also there are also black female gold diggers. But you uplift the Anglo gold digger, okay? You put them on a pedestal. Them Kardashians, they are gold diggers. They are hypergamous. They culturally appropriate not only black women, but they also culturally appropriate your black wealth. Because we know they go after the entertainers and the athletes and all of this and all that. But then they turn around and they do these black fishing photos. That was a black fishing. They were bashing Kylie Jenner the other day because she tried to make herself look like Beyonce. That is cultural appropriation. They are culturally appropriating you right out of your black wealth, but that's good. They're not called hypergamous though. Okay? You see how that works? Athletes and entertainers. Take Kobe Bryant, for instance. May he rest in peace. He was dealing with a situation of hypergamy. He got killed in a plane crash with his child, and now his Anglo woman gets all his generational wealth. Good morning, making it happen, Manny. You see how that works? But they're not called out for that, but black women are. Okay? Every time you speak ill about the black women of your own race, it should be labeled hate speech. You should be labeled a hate group. That's what you get. That's what you get. I don't feel sorry for them. I'm glad that the world, because they don't live in a bubble, you should be censored when you're making all these very abusive statements. Because a lot of these people are weak minded and they can go offline and start hurting black women, all because of your rhetoric. We know that we are unprotected. We are, as black women, we know that we are unprotected. We know that we only are left to our own defenses, and we have to take care of ourselves most of the time. But that's okay. But see, you even get mad about that. We're not feminine enough. We're too masculine. Why? Because we take care of ourselves. And then, now that we've started taking care of ourselves, and a lot of black women have started choosing career over family or having a man, you even upset with that. You don't want to take care of us. You call us hypergamous. You call us gold diggers. Okay? You warn black men. You say that it's suicide to marry a black woman. So we started taking care of ourselves. We've gone our own way. But you even have a problem with that. See, they don't want you happy. They don't want to be with you, you know. But when you go your own way and you ain't worried about them, they're not happy with that either. They just want you to be sad, miserable, and lonely. And that is not the case. And they can't stand that. That is why they keep talking about you. It's why SBM is supposed to be a save yourself black man. Save yourself black man from the black woman. The black woman has been gone. She ain't thinking about you derelict Negroes. But you still talking about her though. Even though she ain't thinking about you. Every chance you get, you want to speak derogatorily about a black woman. If you've gone your own way and you're laying between the thighs of a non-black woman, why are you still dwelling on and why do you still have so much hate for the black woman? Because if you've moved on, if you saved yourself, it would seem to me like you would move on in every way. You've moved on physically, but not mentally. So we're still dominating your brain and your thought process to the point to where you still have to spew hate against us? That is ridiculous. And I'm glad you're being called out on it. And I have no sympathy for them. And it's unfortunate that the black men that don't speak derogatorily about black women, they're being lumped in that same category. That's unfortunate. But perhaps they should start checking them. Okay? Because the world is starting to stand up and recognize. That is why these men that don't, and there are a lot of black men that don't abuse black women in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm married to one. They're all in my family, but they're all being put under that same blanket. So instead of you talking about being mad at black women for not checking other black women on what you call black female effery, which we do, we just don't. What? There are a few black women, you know. There's one woman in particular that speaks derogatorily about other black women. Why would you do that online? That is ridiculous. That don't make sense. Uh, Jim Queen said they still talking about Juanita Jordan, who didn't do anything but get cheated on. But the Kardashians are, yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Good morning, Dark Venom. Good morning, Keisha. Keisha said, okay, happy Sunday, Olivia and Porch Watch. This is a good conversation. Thank you, Keisha. But yeah, yeah, I am glad that they're being called out on their misogyny, on their failed patriarchy, their toxic masculinity. I'm glad they're being called out on it. I sure am. Because you need to check yourself. You've gotten too comfortable with all this anti-black woman rhetoric. And I have started asking my women, you guys know if you've been on my channel, to divest from the abuse. Divest from anything that's abusive towards you. Okay, I don't see why there are so many black women still frequenting these anti-black woman channels. You'll see a few pop up in the chat. I was looking at a chat the other night. I think it was Friday when a couple of women were on the chat trying to stand their ground. You know what I mean? And then of course, anytime a black woman is being put in that situation, they're going to try to ride all over her. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't even know why you women pop on these channels. Do you have some kind of low self-esteem issue or something? Are you a glutton for punishment? And we know that that is not on the case. I have done it a couple of times, but I come to fight. That flat I can't take my mouth. It drives them crazy. That's why I do it. Really, the only thing I'm doing is trolling. That's all I'm doing. Because what they going to do? Because no, they can't check me. So, it's sport for me. That's all. That's the only reason why I do it. It's sport. That's all. But it's so derogatory and disgusting to the point to where I don't even subject myself to that anymore. I don't even want to spar with them. Because really, why? Do you see what I'm saying? But you got women that really take the things that they said to heart. If you are a woman and you frequent these anti-black woman panels and channels and stuff, don't take that stuff to heart. And a lot of black women think it's absolutely funny. But if you're thinking it's funny, that's cool, and you don't feed into it, that's cool. But you should check them on it if you're going to frequent these sites, because there are a lot of women that are taking it to heart. See, you're a derelict as well if you've been on these panels and you're not checking them. Okay? And they say that Southern women, we're so emotional. And I have heard other black women, oh, it's the Southern women that speak so emotionally. And they're so this, that, and the other. And that it's not us. Excuse me? You darn right I speak emotionally. I'm going to stand up for myself. You're not going to disrespect me and not get checked. Okay? I'm just saying. Kiki said, I met very good men, but they are considered simps. Yeah, they call them simps, right? They aren't simps. These women haters are crybabies they are crybabies with mommy issues and baby mama issues and just issues. And a lot of them, a lot of these crybabies, they really only want to lay with themselves. Because they've started comparing the black manosphere to the Anglo manosphere, and the black manosphere got started because they want to copy off of the Anglo manosphere. That's that whole following behind patriarchy thing. Do you see what I'm saying? It's real ignorant. It's real lame. And like I said, they're hustling backwards, and they need to get checked because there's too much going on. Like I said, they've uplifted rapists and pimps and abusers. That guy, what's his name? Jason Black, the Black Authority. They said that he's got a criminal record, a history of violence towards women. He supposedly beat a woman with a barbell, a weight bell, a weight, like those gym weights. They said he beat a woman with that, but they love him to death too. I haven't heard that word in a minute. What word haven't you heard in a minute, Brand? Miss Corm said, I chose to not share places and spaces with clowns who live with mommy. I know that's right. I refuse. Child. Mm-mm. You a miss, Kiki. Simps. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Dark Venom said, yeah, y'all please hit the like button. And you can hit that super chat button if you want to, too. Or Cash App or anything. Okay? It lets me know you care about this, what I'm talking about. Dark Venom says it's taken them long enough to realize that this is black woman hate speech, and contributes to the increase in violence we're seeing against black women. You're absolutely right, dog. We've seen many videos of not only black men becoming very violent towards black women, but Anglo men as well. It's because these other races of men now realize that black women have been left unprotected. We have to protect ourselves. And that is why you're seeing this increase in violence towards black women in particular. The other day, I did a video about Adrena Gunn. She was murdered by her boyfriend on Valentine's Day. These are young people. And I just can't stop thinking about, did he, okay, because he was clearly abusive. He had a pattern. But did he get a battery put in his back by listening to some of this anti-black woman rhetoric online? Did they give him permission to kill this girl? LOL, Olivia, you give them that word. Keisha says, Southern women is very strong. All my aunts don't play. From Lynchburg, Virginia, they don't hold. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We more they did some women, women like me. They call themselves. They feel that they want to be embarrassed about women like me that refuse to get shouted down or verbally abused by any man. But if I don't tolerate that in my daily life, why would I tolerate it online? And some are struggling with their sex. They are struggling with their sexuality. Yes, they are. They blame that on black women too. Oh, it's my mama's fault because I'm gay. Okay. All right. Love Wisdom said that Dark Man, excellent point. That video of those boys jumping. Yes, on that girl in Brooklyn. I just seen that the other day. 15 to 20 black guys in Brooklyn, New York, jumped on one 15-year-old black girl. They robbed her. They took her shoes, her phone. They was kicking her. And it was all caught on camera. You see what I'm saying? Thank you, Kiki. But don't worry about it, Kiki. Dark Venom said a 15-year-old girl was attacked and stopped. Yeah, stomped out. Yes, she was by a group of 18. Yeah, 18 to 20 boys, black boys here in Brooklyn. Yes, it is getting really bad. What do you guys think that hate stems from? You know, but like I said, they feel like black women are unprotected. Yeah, but I saw that video where they did that to that girl. Yeah, yeah. I was so embarrassed by that. I was so embarrassed for our people by that. Cloud did a video about it. I didn't even want to, like, I mentioned it a couple of times, but I didn't do a specific video about it because I was so embarrassed for us because of that. And it was caught on video. I was like, oh my God. I'm embarrassed when I hear these anti-black woman haters on here. These he-man black woman haters. I'm embarrassed for us when I hear them rant on and on and on. Because they sound like women. They sound like what they say women. They're whiny. They want a pat on their back. They want a shoulder to cry on, amongst other men. And that makes me side eye. I don't like the super chat because they take. I know that's right, Kiki. I feel you, girl. Right? But yeah, the whole thing is just pitiful. But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm glad they're being called out on their dysfunction, and as they should be. I don't feel sorry for them at all, and it's unfortunate that the black men that don't do this are being thrown under the bus. But they ought to check them. Okay? Don't worry about checking us. See, even some black men that don't speak derogatory about black women, when they talk to you, they still have a sense of, you can hear the sense of ownership that they have. That is the misogyny in them. That is the patriarchy in them. You know. And it is now the 21st century. There is no need to keep taking up this mantle of failed patriarchy because your ego, we know that the ego of men, any race of men, is very fragile, and sometimes men think that they have the right, or they have to validate their masculinity. They feel like they have to lord over you in some kind of way, feel superior towards you, feel some kind of ownership, especially black men, to you in some kind of way, to uplift their ego, to validate their manhood. But that is a wrong way of thinking. It's unfortunate, but like I said, you hustling backwards. Even the ones that don't bash black women, you can still hear that sense of ownership in them. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's weird. The whole thing is just very weird. You know. Doug Venom said, I heard so many black men say that she must have done something. Ain't that something? Something to cause it. Her family on local news said she did not know these boys, and it stemmed from an argument she had with another girl in school. Oh, wow. Really? Child, let me tell you something. If I had seen a son of mine doing that to a girl, if he would have been in that group, Lord have mercy. God bless his soul. That's all I got to say. Couldn't have been mine doing that. Oh my goodness. Oh my, he would have had to feel the wrath. He would never have done that again. I can guarantee you. Kiki said I couldn't watch it. I feel so bad what happened to this 15-year-old girl. Right. Goes to show how weak these men are. That's right. They're absolutely weak. It took 15 or 20 of them to gang up on one little girl. It's disgusting. Like I said, I didn't even want to talk about it on my channel. I didn't want to highlight. Yes, one of their mothers turned them in. Good. All of their mothers should turn them in. Yes, yes, you should. Yes, they should. Uh-huh. But see, I wouldn't have to turn mine in because I would beat the brakes off of it. Okay? And he would never, ever, would he ever do that again. Never. Never again would he do that. And he would go to that girl and knock on her door and freaking apologize and beg her forgiveness. Okay? That's what he would do. Beg her forgiveness. Because that was absolutely ridiculous. I would have to turn you. I don't need you to police my child because I'll be able to handle it all by myself. Sure would. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm glad that these characters are finally being called out. I hope that they get even more the hate of these black women, these black male that are bashing black women groups, I hope they get even more of a light shined on them. And it's not only because of YouTube and social media. Like I said, you also have, black men in media, entertainers like Snoop Dogg, and what is his name, OJ Simpson and Bill Cosby. You have these types of men, these visible types of black men also bashing black women. You see what I'm saying? Because they all came up against Gayle King. Good morning, Kingsman. How you doing? And so they should be called out. But when you get a group of them, and it's like I said, it's the entertainers that's really shining the light on them, and that's what they get. That's what they get because it's gone too far. I don't feel sorry for them. Love Wisdom said our girls must take up martial arts. Absolutely, carry a pocket knife and pepper spray. It is dangerous out here. Love Wisdom. You know, my husband made me carry a gun. This is terrible. The truth is showing more and more. The truth is showing more and more. And now you guys see why I implore you to divest from the abuse. Divest from the abuse. Just divest from it. Don't feed into it. Don't co-sign it. You see what I'm saying? Miss Quam said, Amen. My boys would have been scared for life. Absolutely scarred for life. They sure would have been. From what I would have did to them for hitting a helpless young man. Absolutely. 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 You know, it don't make no sense. It's ridiculous for them to do that. Like I said, I was embarrassed to highlight it on my channel. All those boys against one girl, they're kicking her like she ain't nothing. I'm like, wow. Wow. I don't even think that my nephew would have ever been involved in anything like that. Any of these men in my family would have never been involved in anything like that. You know, because they're reared from birth to have the utmost respect for women. We don't play that crap around here. And so anyway, I just really want to let you guys know, and like I'm glad I applaud. I forgot the man's name that did that article. There's been a couple of articles, but Fountain. I think his last name is Fountain. But I applaud him for doing what he did, and I hope. Brady said, "Don't think." No, he would never ever. I know that's right, Brady. Never ever would he do that. None of them. None of them. None of them. None of them. They ain't raised that way. No. No. But I applaud Mr. Fountain for doing those articles. I hope he continues to shine the light. Like I said, that is not the first article that has shined the light on this black male toxic space here on YouTube and on social media in general. He's not the first one because Damon Young did an article, like I said, a couple of years ago, titled "The Heterosexual Black Men or the White People in the Black Community." And now Mr. Fountain has done a series of articles, a couple, I think, and I'm glad. I'm glad because it did make another reason why, and it's also unfortunate because we know that there has long since been an agenda to destroy the black male image. So my thing is, why would you want to feed into it? But that's what you get. But that's what you get. So I don't feel sorry for them. Check out the gun laws in your state. If they say Oh, absolutely. I have the concealed to carry permit and an open carry permit. And also, they have made it now where you don't have to have a permit at all to carry a gun in the state of Tennessee. They're trying to pass that legislation. But just absolutely check out the laws in your state. But that's how it is here. The wild, wild west. Okay? But anyway, Miss Monroe said, "I'm so upset because I didn't get my notification. You all, a lot of people say that they don't get their notifications. And I can't do it. The only thing I ask you to do is just check and make sure you have when you hit the notifications bell, you will have options of three choices as it pertains to notifications. And if you hit that all button, hopefully you'll get notified. You see what I'm saying? But AHA Obsidian, that's what you get. AHA O'Shea, AHA BGS More, any of the Black Manosphere or the Negro Manosphere, that's what y'all get. AHA. Please hit the like button because when you hit the like button, my video will go further and hopefully they will get this message of me saying, AHA, that's what you get. I hope they shut all of y'all down and shut all your channels down. Okay? Anyway. Deej, hey Deej said, I am glad too that someone is calling this app. It has gone too far for far too long. Now I remember a couple of years ago they say I went online then, but I think her name was Simone 56 or something like that. Her, Sophia A. Nelson, a lot of women came out about this. Came out up against these he men woman haters, and they were making some headway with that. I hate that they stopped their campaign. They had them on a list to get their channel shut down and everything. But now it's not them having to take that on anymore. They're going mainstream and labeling them a hate group as they should, and I'm happy about that. And if a few black men that don't have anything to do with it on social media, if they get thrown on the bus with them, it's unfortunate. But check your boys. Okay? And there are some men, Taz exclusives. They hate Taz. They call him a maggle because he doesn't speak anti-black woman rhetoric. He doesn't co-sign it. They hate him. Oh my God. But everything he's saying, when he's checking them on it, everything that he has ever said to them, checking them about their dysfunction, has been uplifted and been made true. Everything that he's saying to them from man to man, it's now being validated because people are speaking out on mainstream media. See, they want to shout somebody down like Taz because he ain't with their nonsense. They don't like him because he won't co-sign the dysfunction, and he calls them out on it. So they can't stand somebody like him. You know, the chickens have come home to roost. And I'm so glad that it's not only Taz saying that. It's a couple of men on here. And I really hate that men like Taz are getting thrown under the bus. You know, and us women, we will protect the men like Taz that are on here. It's not just Taz. It's a couple of them that don't do that. But black women who frequent those spaces, they will be covered by those black women. But the ones like the Obsidians and the BGS Immores and the O'Sheas and all this and all that, they deserve what they get. I hope YouTube will start standing up and taking notice and doing something about it too. See, it's all fine and dandy when you have these spaces, about black men and black women going back and forth with just each other. That's cool. That's why something hasn't. Well, that's why nothing's ever been done about it. But now, because it's getting mainstream media attention, maybe Google, YouTube will start to do something about it because it's verbal abuse. They need to Me Too the whole sector and censor all of them. Okay? Because, like I said, this violence against women is becoming worse. Once again, you're seeing a rise of these types of abuses, and they even downplay rape. They say that they feel that women that turn in women that turn in men that have raped them or brutalized them or committed domestic violence. They feel that those reports are false and all of this and all that. Not knowing like most of the violence against women is never reported because women fear being shamed by the authorities. It's never reported. Okay? And they always want to throw up, well, you got these fake rape claims, these fake rape applications, and all of this and all of that. But that's mostly perpetrated by those Anglos that you put on a pedestal. Those are the ones that's lying on you and getting you lynched. Remember Emmett Till? Yeah, them. Yeah. Most black women never report those types of abuse. They never report it. They don't want to be shamed. They know they're not going to believe. They don't bother reporting it. So they just carry that trauma around with them forever. All right? They carry it around forever because they knew that they wouldn't have any justice behind something like that being done to them. So they just carry it around forever and try to deal with it as best they can. Lil Wisdom says salute to Taz, Twin Man, Rob Perkins, Psycho, Q Butter, George Macon, etc. Absolutely. And those men will be covered in these spaces if they don't speak. I don't know about all of them if they don't, but I know Taz don't, and I know Robert Perkins don't. And Q Butter, George, yeah, all of them. I don't really know that much about psychopathies because he's turned on me before. when I said that I am, I'm black first, but I'm black woman first. Yeah, he didn't like that comment. I'm still black woman first, by the way. I'm still black first, but moreover, I'm black woman first. I never strayed from that because we know that that is most of my commentary is centered around the upliftment of black women. So yeah, but he didn't like that, so I don't know about him. All right, but as far as Taz, Twin Man, Rob Perkins, Q Butter, George Macon, I really don't even know that much about George Macon. You know, so but yeah. Anyway, G said yes. Taz takes them out on and is very effective. Yes, he is very effective at it. That's why they hate him so much because he's very effective at it. I agree, Deej. Miss Plum says, "Yep." Carolee Bryant still walking around free. I don't know who that is behind line on image. Oh yeah, that old lady. Yeah, is she still alive? She even said she lied on him. You know. Love Wisdom says Psycho is good. Elder Libby, he goes in on the fully. Oh well, good. Love Wisdom, good. I don't frequent this channel, so I don't know whether he is or not. I just know what he said about me one time. But okay. Dark Venom said that's right. And Love Wisdom, they're out here fighting the good fight amongst a sea of losers. Absolutely right. I agree with that. But they will be covered by black women. Miss Corm said, yes, the old bat still living, Miss. Oh, yeah, I didn't know she was still alive or not, Miss Corm. But I heard that interview that she did saying that she lied about Emmett Till. So, yeah. But, yeah. But it always amazes me. But this, I'm like I said, once again, I'm going to keep saying it. Aha. They need to be called out on a black male effery. What about that? Because they go too far. They go too far in their rhetoric. It's too much. Like you can feel the hate that they have for black women emanating on that screen. And what's that man looks like he on the autism spectrum. He sounds like it and talks like it. What is his name? Man of Tomorrow? Herman Munster? That Herman Munster looking Negro? Yeah, yeah. He needs to be called out on his stuff too. He's very derogatory towards women. Very derogatory towards women. You know. And probably because he's really a non-select man. He's disgusting. Like he sound disgusting. He look disgusting. He's disgusting. Like, and I think that Obsidian, he has a Napoleon complex, and he talks about overweight black women, but they say he's, in a relationship with an overweight black woman. So that's hypocrisy. Talking about bending, black women over couches, and doing this and that, but you're not even tall enough to bend nobody over a couch. All of that hypocrisy, all of that ignorance. I'm glad it's being called out. You see what I'm saying? And most of them only doing all the anti-black woman hate speech. It's cause they ugly and nobody don't want them anyway. No matter how much money you got, they still don't want your ugly butt. Not cause you. Not only are you ugly on the outside, but moreover, you're ugly on the inside. Cause the ugly on the outside can be worked with. We know us black women. We level our man up. If you ain't up to par when we meet you, we'll get you up to par. But when we get you up to par, then you think you can fool around because you ain't a dusty no more. Then you start fooling around on us after we don't leveled you up. You see how that works? It's crazy. It's crazy. You can't win for losing. Child, it don't make no sense. But anyway, it made me feel so good to learn that they're finally being called out. Like I'm getting my whole life over here. All right. Because I've been trying to call them out, but you know how it is. But that's what they get. I am so glad. Like I'm overjoyed. Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah. Especially that very unfortunate little man, Obsidian. He's really absurd, and he's so ugh. He deserved what he get. But they'll keep fighting a good fight. They'll keep speaking derogatorily about black women, and hopefully they will start to be censored on that stuff because all of that rhetoric, all of that hate speech towards black women, it can be taken offline. And I hope that people are starting to notice that a lot of these millennial men, they are now they're viewing the hate speech, and they're taking it offline, you know. And so I'm glad that attention is being called on that, especially these. And then they don't. A lot of these young men don't even realize that the reason why these older guys like Obsidian and BGS, the reason why guys like that are trying to poison your mind against other black women is because they are old, they fear death, they know that they have gotten too old to be the players or too old to get, the women that they want to get, the dime pieces or whatever, which they never, they've always, most of the time, they always reached above their level and they were out of their league from the beginning, and they never could have gotten those types of women that they want even when they were younger. They've always been out of their league. But they poison the minds of these young men because they're jealous of them, because they're young, and they want you to hate black women, okay? Because they could never get them or get the ones that they wanted, And that is really at the genesis of the hate, is because they're not able to get with these particular black women that they want. They already, try to, they don't know how to date on their level. Okay? Because if in fact there are 7 to 10 women to every one heterosexual black man, how's it that you, out of these 7 to 10 women that you have to choose from, can you not find one? What does that say about you? You see what I'm saying? What does that say about you? Okay. Kiki said, ew, nobody wants that dumpling with his tight clothes. He is sick. Did you got that right, Kiki? Miss Clum said, yep. Look at Brandy making the faces. But y'all, just want to bring you guys this information in case you hadn't heard it. I'm sure I'll speak on it again because I'm getting my whole life. I'm loving it. I'm glad that it is a black man that is calling out these other very dysfunctional black men. That just fills my heart with joy. It sure does. Uh-huh. I'm glad that other black men are now checking back. They seemingly hate black women so much, ladies, that they are entertaining sex dolls. They would rather lay with a sex doll than you. And it make it so bad, they think that we care. That MOT guy, he lives in a whole fantasy world, y'all. He's like, black women are begging black men to come back to the community. Where? When? How? Really? No one, that's an outright lie. They live in a fantasy world, but some kind of way he thinks that it's true. I'm not going to take care of you. Nobody asked you to. I find it fascinating. And that they really, and then see, sometimes some of us women, we have a part to play in this as well, because sometimes we won't tell them what the real deal is because we don't want to bruise their ego or hurt their feelings. Do you see what I'm saying? And we really have to tame our tongues when we're listening to some of this nonsense. But really, who cares? Bye. Don't nobody want you no way. Child. Miss Clone says more like keep your dusty butt out of our community. I know that's right. Especially if you, and they say they want the black community to burn down. And like I said, they say they want the black woman to suffer and all of this and all of that there. And I'm thinking, bye. Please flee. Please save yourself and go. You want me to buy you a ticket? Oh. Because you only want to go to the DR. That's what they say. They want to go to the DR. Okay. But guess what? Those men over there in the DR, they don't want you fooling with their women anyway. Unless you got some money. Money, 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 money. Or unless you're gonna buy them a stove. So they can cook them some dinner. Oh, child. Like I said, I'm getting my whole life. Y'all hit the like button, okay? I'm going to get off here. But I had to come on here and tell you ladies what was going on. And I think it's a wonderful thing that's happening in media. I'm glad that they are calling out this toxic nature of these men. And just let me say that when it comes to these he-man black woman haters, it is toxic masculinity. And it should be called out. It should absolutely be called out. And I hope that you guys, if you have YouTube channels, if you make videos, please call them out as well. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's help Mr. Fountain and the mainstream media out. Let's help them out and get rid of these clowns. Okay, now we have an opportunity to get rid of the obsidians and all of them, all of the He-Man black woman haters. We have a chance to get rid of them. So let's, clink up like Voltron and get rid of them. Let's launch a campaign to get rid of them. Get rid of all the toxic masculinity that dwell in these spaces. Let's get rid of them. Okay? Let's start our own Me Too movement. Okay? Facts, Olivia, LOL, all about that cash. Okay. Let's start our own online Black YouTube sector Me Too movement, because it's been done before, and oust all of these dialect males, all of these He-Man black woman haters. You know, and say, no, we're not going to take it no more. Okay? Brand said, hashtag let's get rid of them. I know that's right. This Clump said, I love seeing them marry foreign women who bring their family over, have a child, and take them for everything. That's what they get. That's what they get. That's what they get. I love it. They live in a whole dream fantasy world. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And they really think they're getting somewhere to make them feel good when they come on and cry like little girls and complain about black women. You make yourself look bad. You let the world know that you can't handle your women or you're afraid of your women. The world hates you anyway. And so you're only you're weaponizing their hate. You're weaponizing, I'm sorry, anti black male masculinity. Because there are a lot of races of men that are anti-black male masculinity. So you weaponize that. You give credence to that. You hustle backwards. Okay? Kiki said, LOL, Voltron. I haven't heard that in years. Yes, Voltron was my favorite car. Okay, Kiki. But yeah, I just want to leave you guys that you guys have a good day. I'm going to get off here. But like I said, if you have a working YouTube channel and you are in this quote unquote, black sector or woke sector or whatever you want to call it sector, let the females know in your group, or even perhaps the men that don't co-sign all of this dysfunction. Let them know. Let's help the Mr. Fountains in this world, and make our videos to get them out as well. Okay, because enough is enough. All right, watch your mouth. Hashtag watch your mouth. I love it. Anyway, let me get out here. I hope you guys have a nice day. I didn't even mean to talk this long, but thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a wonderful start to your work week. Okay? And don't forget to love yourself. Okay? Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile at somebody. Love on you. Know who you are. The beautiful you that you are. Oh, Mr. Fountain has a YouTube channel, does he? What's the name of his channel, Kiki? You have a good day too, Jackie. Well, Kiki, put the name of his have a good day, Dark Venom. Have a good day, all you guys. I love you guys because that is what I'm required to do. And I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Peace.